Okay, hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. Today is the 6th January, and this is a quick follow-up video to the one I just made. It was 15 below this morning, and I guess we're in our, I don't know, 18th, 15th day of it, whatever. After a while, it just becomes a blur. There's a whole lot more work that's involved when it's real cold like this. It's mostly with the cows, not so much with these animals. It's actually kind of enjoyable with these animals because this is kind of what they're built for, you know, and they do really well in it. So let me show some photos of them right now, how vibrant they are in this, and how well they're doing. All right, but I want to talk about something that's coming, give you a heads up on. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 25 degrees above zero, and it's supposed to be sunny. So today 15 below, tomorrow 25 above. Huge temperature swing. And although it's going to be a fun day, we're going to have a good time, there's problems with that. We're looking at a couple of days of 25, and then it's going to peak around 41 on Wednesday, and it's going to stay kind of level for a while in the 30s, and then it will probably drop off the other side. And what happens to pigs in the pastured environment is when you have a swing like that, they get pneumonia. And I don't know why. I really don't know the clinical reason why. I just know it happens. And this happened to us even when we lived at our last farm out in Montana. That's where we found out about it. And you know, when you contact the vet about it and you tell them what the symptoms are, they will have you give the animal, you know, lots and lots of antibiotic, you know, intermuscular. Shoot them right in the back haunches with A200 and give them lots of it. And then hopefully they'll pull out of it. But then our experience is the next time that there's a big swing like that, they're the first one to get sick again. So what you probably want to do, or I'm just going to say what I do, what I'm looking for tomorrow, is I'm looking for ways to minimize whatever causes that. And so what I'm thinking is, okay, where they've been living up there, they've been up there for quite a long time, and it's probably, the area is kind of dirty. So what I'm going to encourage them to do is to come down here now with this bale and spend time down here. And then I'm going to start feeding them over there on fresh snow where I haven't fed them yet. And I'm not sure, but I think that it gives them a different place to be, and I think that that is beneficial for them as far as staying away from the pneumonia. But if they get it, we'll lose them. If they get it and they get it bad enough to kill them, we'll lose them. If they get it and they recover from it, like let's say all I have to do is separate them from the rest of the crowd, and they recover from it, we will tag them for processing. So we would not think about using them as any kind of breeding animal because they have the propensity to get it. Now, that's all I know, you know. I'd like to learn more about this, what makes it happen and all those things. I haven't lost an animal to that in quite a long time. I can't even remember the last time. But I don't do the A200 anymore. I don't use it at all. Even for cuts and things like that, I don't even do it. The animals are tough. They don't need it. It's better to have an animal that you don't have to do a vaccination program and all that stuff. And we keep a closed herd so that I'm not bringing anything in accidentally. You know, if I do bring animals here from another farm, let's say I'm going to just shuttle them, I keep them at a separate place on the farm. I would never put them in the general population, you know, and I probably wouldn't even want to do it in the summertime. I'll do it in the wintertime, but not in the summertime. There's things out there that you really don't want. Different viruses and stuff that are very, very tough to get rid of. And they almost require that once you have them, you got to get yourself into a vaccination program, and that is a serious hassle. You don't want that. So feeding hay seems to be one of the things that fends off a lot of problems. And here we are feeding hay. Another question was, do I make my own round bales? And the answer is yes, I do. I have about 50 or so acres here of hay ground that I make hay, and there's my baler over there, the good Heston. It's as old as I am. It's very young, vibrant. I grease the bearings on it with Mangalitsa fat and keeps it going. Along those lines too, I'm kind of rambling here, but yesterday I was talking about vitamin D, and Randy, my buddy that's got the optimum levels of vitamin D in his blood. They're checking his blood all the time because he's fighting this Lyme disease, but he's right happy all the time because of that. And let me tell you how he does this. He takes the Mangalitsa fat that he's rendered down into lard, and he puts a tablespoon of that in a coffee decanter that he makes in the morning. And it's kind of like this real special coffee that he makes. And he's actually putting lard in his coffee. Can you believe that? But we put milk in it. We don't think of that. Some people put butter in it. But Mangalitsa lard is very, very good stuff. It gives it nice flavor. It's not piggy at all. It's not porky flavor at all. It's just very nice, light. So that's where he gets his vitamin D levels from. Now, as far as Mangalitsa's eating hay, you don't have to teach them to do it so much as you have to just maintain a little bit of discipline. Like some days, if they have hay and they're not going to eat it, then hold everything else. Now this group, I've treated them pretty much like my kids. That's all they get is good stuff. And they learn to like it. Like they have bread, fresh bread on the ground over there. It's frozen solid, and then they have this kind of dry hay. And they're going wild on this hay. And they've been up since early this morning eating. And then here they are over here eating snow through the fence. That's what this big guy's doing. Eating snow. All right. They eat a lot of snow. And if you're new to this whole thing on my channel, I guess, we don't provide water for the Mangalitsa and the Mangalitsa crosses in the wintertime. And some people get a little upset about that because they've read university books that say that you have to do that. We're outside. The animals have snow to eat, and if we give them water, all they do is play in it and get wet, and then we have problems. So we just don't do that, and we're going on 10 years now where we haven't provided them with water and have not had a glitch. Cows are a little bit different story. Beef cows, you can let them eat snow. And you can follow them around, you can see where they go, and they enjoy snow. They'll eat as much snow as they will drink water. But the dairy cows, we've had cows dry up from not getting water. And that was a sad thing because we couldn't get them going again. So with your dairy cows, you definitely got to provide them with good fresh water. So. But along the lines of feeding hay, there's a real opportunity out there. If you, I'm at 8 minutes and 20 seconds. If you cut your own hay, a lot of times those of us that do, we make a first cutting, a second cutting, and we stay away from the third cutting. We stay away from that because if we're feeding it to our cattle and horses, it's too hot. It's got too much protein in it. Sometimes they call it rabbit food. Like third and fourth cutting even. But if you have somebody that lives near you and they're only taking a first and second cutting, and you say to them, you know, I'll buy your third cutting from you, And they'll say, well, you got to be careful with that if you feed it to cows. No, I'm feeding it to my Mangalitsa and Mangalitsa cross pigs. They'll say, sure. And you can probably get a whale of a deal on hay. It'll be high in protein, and the pigs will love it. I don't do the third and fourth cutting, even though I'm saying that you should, because this here is second cutting. So the way I do it is my first cutting goes in the barn first, obviously, and my second cutting goes in last. So my second cutting gets fed first. So my second cutting is the high protein stuff, and it's going to these guys now while they have less, you know, forages out here. They make up for it with this. So this animal, you know, if these particular ones that have been trained this way, if we turn them loose like into the wild right now, they would seek out things that we have fed them. They're used to that. Like I notice with my kids, if we take them to some place where there's a salad bar, I notice the things that they eat. They don't try new things. They eat the stuff that we feed them here all the time. It's sort of the way it goes. So with the Mangalitsa, if you want to get optimum product, you're going to want to feed them healthy. And it's going to be greens, small grains, staying away from corn. Field peas are great if you can get them. They're great. Hay and forages. And in the wintertime, if you have plenty of snow, you don't need to water them. Okay, this is Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Anyone can farm.